This week was all about rats and snitches in the trial of FBG Duck. Here's the lowdown on what went down. Trench's news was all up in the mix, relentless in their pursuit of the truth. They were throwing shade at Lil Durk, trying hard to drag him deeper into the mess. This dude Trench's news, Swiper, ended up on the stand, spilling the beans despite saying he wouldn't snitch. Straight up contradicting himself and making it clear he's only looking out for himself. It's wild, cause he used to front like he was Mr. Honesty, but now he's singing like a canary, revealing stuff that totally goes against what he was preaching before. People had faith in this guy, but now they see he's just another snitch trying to save his own skin. But it ain't just about him. There's this whole drama with Durk too. Dude's meeting mayors, doing good for the hood, while Swiper's out there trying to twist things up, implicating folks left and right. In the end, it's a mess. The streets took Duck and Vaughn, and it's clear that in this game, there ain't no loyalty. Rats are running rampant, trying to point fingers, but the truth's getting twisted. It's a rough scene out there. Trench's news decided to flip sides and start snitching, acting all sneaky under the cloak of anonymity. And it was revealed that he worked with the feds for over 16 years. This guy's got more stories than a library, but funny thing is, he never mentioned the time he faced some payback. He went on and told the judge that someone straight up poured hot coffee on him, took him to the top floor of a building, and beat him down until he needed serious medical help. Can you believe that? It's like a movie plot, but it supposedly made him switch up his game, joining forces with Duck. But let's not forget, back when he was rolling with Old Block, he was just causing trouble like any other dude. This cat's a real flip-flopper, jumping crews whenever it suits him best. He's slick, spinning his tails to the cops, making himself look like some kind of reformed saint. He's out here trying to sell a sob story to the jurors, acting like he's seeking forgiveness for his past sins. He's going on and on about how he's changed his ways, but trust me, he's not taking no for an answer. He's working hard to make the jury see him as this innocent civilian who's done with the street life. He claims he's using his online gig to call out gangs and steer young folks away from trouble, painting himself as some kind of city-saving hero. But here's the kicker, this dude's eyeing a hefty $1 million reward for snitching on folks with guns. Also Dryo, a well-known Chicago journalist renowned for interviewing various drill artists over the years, recently discussed the trial involving FBG Duck and Old Block members. She emphasized her credibility, being from Chicago herself and frequently present at the courthouse during the trial proceedings. While she might not be there every day, she provided crucial insights from a particular day that shed light on what went down inside the courtroom, based on court documents. According to the documents disclosed thus far, federal authorities managed to trace the car involved in the crime. Alleged suspects were tracked driving towards the Gold Coast after supposedly receiving info about FBG Duck's location from someone named THFTTZ. Reports suggest there's surveillance footage showing specific individuals getting into the car and footage from inside Parkway Gardens, displaying members fleeing the building. Street cameras also captured the vehicle en route to the Gold Coast, broadening the surveillance scope of the case. Dryo mentioned that the courtroom during the trial seemed somewhat divided. Rumors circulated about a possible altercation between Bu's family and Mama Duck. There were talks about a heated exchange of words, but fortunately, it didn't escalate further. This situation might explain the divided supporters from both families sitting on different sides of the courtroom. Considering this case involves loss of life, tensions ran high, yet Mama Duck and others managed to attend and show support in a respectful manner. Although law enforcement already possesses video evidence of the alleged suspects, Dryo highlighted that the trial has progressed to the phase where they're revealing footage of the vehicles leaving and returning to Parkway Gardens. At this stage, they're presenting the footage to everyone in court, questioning them about the surveillance recordings. But here's the deal, not all the footage has been released. Trials follow a process, and federal authorities can't spill all their evidence at once. They're methodically building their case, revealing evidence step by step. Future footage to be disclosed includes the highly anticipated clip of the actual shooting incident. Dryo stressed the necessity of a methodical approach in the legal process. Authorities are meticulously going through each step, aiming to demonstrate why they believe the suspects in custody are the ones they've been chasing. They're likely using timestamps crucially, detailing durations from departure to arrival, the incident, and return times. Dryo disclosed an exclusive detail not previously mentioned in the case. During the return trip to Parkway Gardens, surveillance footage captured a significant incident. Old Block members were intercepted by the police as they entered the area. However, due to the absence of audio, specifics of the interaction remain unclear. This undisclosed encounter with law enforcement adds a noteworthy dimension to the case. The footage shows a brief interaction between the police officer and the Old Block members, followed by the officer returning to his vehicle and driving away. Questions arise about the officer's intent, actions, and the absence of follow-up. The reason for the stop and the officer's decision not to pursue further action remains ambiguous, raising questions about this particular incident's handling. So here's the deal with that cop who stopped those suspects connected to the case. Apparently, he noticed them speeding but thought they were heading to their destination, so he let them off the hook without digging deeper. Talk about irony, because he might have unknowingly let murder suspects off the hook right after the incident. Imagine the shock if he saw those same folks later arrested on the news. In hindsight, he could have been the first cop on the scene post-crime. There's a sense of what if about him not checking more thoroughly. He could have found crucial evidence they might have dumped before entering that gated area. But hey, this is all speculation, and it's purely alleged, you know? The suspects probably had a major adrenaline rush when the cop pulled up, thinking they were about to get caught. Crazy twist, right? They managed to avoid immediate trouble, only to end up getting nabbed later. They're now fighting for their freedom in court. It makes you wonder if that cop will spill the beans in court. Like, did they seem shady when he stopped them? The feds might use these details to beef up their case, making it seem like the suspects were acting fishy during the stop, which led to their arrest. The trial's expected to drag on for about 2 months, so there's a chance we'll hear more shocking stuff, with possible new witnesses and footage coming to light. The latest tea spilled in court was about Trench's news offering cash payments to someone related to the case. And hold up, Lil Dave supposedly got offered a fat $20,000 for sharing what he knows. Sketchy tactics from the authorities, right? Handing out big bucks to folks who could be knee-deep in crime themselves. Raises some serious concerns about how far people will go for a quick buck. Trench's news apparently took off his mask during the court proceedings, cracking jokes and all. But brace yourselves for the cross-examination phase, because that might reveal a whole lot more about what's really going down. Trench's news was back in the courtroom, this time facing extensive cross-examination from Old Block's legal team. Their main agenda? To question his credibility, aiming to paint him as untrustworthy. They focused on dissecting his statements and actions, aiming to expose contradictions or inconsistencies in what he said previously. This session was significant, emphasized in a video urging viewers to engage and share the content for wider visibility. Trench's news was grilled extensively, with the opposing team delving into his past social media posts and public statements. The objective was clear: challenge the accuracy and truthfulness of his current testimony. Old Block's legal team targeted Trench's news online presence, portraying him as a fame seeker. They depicted him as someone hungry for fleeting moments of fame, undermining his involvement's authenticity. They aimed to distance him from the Old Block community, asserting he wasn't a significant figure there. Prosecutors painted Trench's news as someone solely interested in financial gain, rather than assisting in Duck's case. They highlighted his alleged pursuit of profit over genuine concern for the case or community. The courtroom drama escalated as Trench's news faced persistent questioning. Interestingly, during questioning about a video at a federal courthouse, he clarified it was a prop location called West Bumble, causing a bit of a comic moment. However, things took a serious turn when Trench's news became visibly frustrated and showed signs of disrespect. Despite the seriousness, there was an atmosphere of humor as confusion arose over certain terms, injecting a lighthearted moment into the otherwise intense proceedings. Trench's news was questioned about specific locations and activities, including meetings or financial transactions at Old Block. He denied witnessing such events or having insight into T. Carlo's acquisition of a chain. His discussion of the trial on his YouTube channel also became a focal point, although he argued it was public knowledge due to media presence. Kenny Mac's affiliation with Dipset was a subject of discussion, with Trench's News confirming and mentioning previous statements in interviews. Videos were played in court regarding Kenny Mac's affiliations and incidents involving Trench's News, highlighting the complexity of proving gang affiliations based on hearsay or statements without concrete evidence. The court session seemed to balance between intense scrutiny and moments of levity, with Trench's News facing rigorous questioning about his statements and affiliations while navigating through the complexities of legal scrutiny. This provided a glimpse into the tension and intricacies of the legal proceedings involving Trench's News, showcasing conflicting viewpoints and narratives presented by both sides. After the break, Trench's News faced questioning about a video in which he seemingly displayed a gun on DJ V's platform. He dismissed it as entertainment. Following this line of questioning, Kenny Mac's lawyer concluded her cross-examination. Then, the state took over and began their cross-examination of Trench's News. They asked if he currently resided outside of Chicago, which he confirmed. The state also inquired about his affiliation with the FBI, stating they had hired and compensated him, which Trench's News confirmed. He explained wearing a mask in videos to show children uses beyond criminal activities. Regarding cooperation with the police, he mentioned dealing with online trolls and threats, stating that as long as they didn't physically harm him, it didn't bother him. Trench's News claimed he was at an O Block member's house in February 2012, marking the last time he was there. When asked about the affiliation between Gangster Disciples, GDs, and Black Disciples, BDs, he confirmed a period when they were aligned. Following Trench's testimony, Terrence Garrett, part of Parkway Gardens security team, took the stand. Terrence confirmed working in Parkway from 2014 to January 2021 as a field supervisor and later a dispatcher responsible for monitoring security footage. He confirmed the presence of cameras in various areas of Parkway Gardens. He mentioned patrolling the units to ensure safety and confirmed the cameras' different views and settings. Terrence stated that no one had access to edit or alter the security footage. He recalled Officer Hooks approaching him on August 4, 2020, to review footage for the murder case. Regarding gang presence, Terrence acknowledged their presence, specifically mentioning the Black Disciples' prevalence in the area. He confirmed familiarity with individuals like King Von, associating them with O Block. Despite a ban, King Von continued visiting O Block, even around the time of FBG Duck's murder. Terrence identified other O Block members and positively recognized an individual named Lyons as an O Block member and witness. When shown a picture of T. Carlo, he stated seeing him in Parkway Gardens but didn't explicitly confirm his affiliation or membership with O Block. This testimony from the security guard, with extensive knowledge of the community and its members, seemed significant for the ongoing case. FBG Butta made a big entrance. Known in the rap game and rolling with 63rd Street STLEBT and GD, he stepped up when the court called. It was anticipated that he'd spill some beans on the defendants, but nah. Instead, FBG Butta played the I don't know nothing card, acting like he was just hanging with FBG Duck for YouTube clout. Dude was tight-lipped, denying he knew jack about what went down. Thing is, papers showed FBG Butta had been cozying up with the feds before, you feel me? There was cash changing hands between him and the feds, showing he was in the mix during the case start. But then, out of the blue, he went MIA, ghosting the feds' calls. Questions fly around about what's coming for him, maybe feds coming back for their dough or some legal heat for dodging the scene. Now, here's the twist. Trench's News spilled some beans, mentioning cash grabs, and then there's FBG Butta acting like he's playing dumb, keeping his mouth shut to dodge any snitch tags. Homeboy's wise to the game, knowing how social media can kill a rep. He got burned once before, videos dropping, showing him collabing with cops and breaking down. Dude ain't letting that happen again, so he stays zipped up tight during this trial, thinking about his brand and rep in this digital world. Butta's move upset the fans, feeling he could have brought some heat to this case. Mama Duck might be feeling let down too, hoping for justice for her son. Meanwhile, there's talk about some surveillance footage about to drop, linking someone to the crime scene, showing a face without a mask. Seems wild, considering the person is no longer around, tragically took their own life. Folks are waiting on updates, thinking Butter might flip and spill the beans or not. Speculations buzzing about friends or family stepping in to twist his arm. Everyone's waiting to see who else gets called to testify and what else evidence drops. It's a high-profile case stirring emotions and raising questions about justice for FBG Duck and his fam. FBG Butter found himself back on that stand again. At first, he played dumb, acting like he knew squat about the O-Block crew. But folks weren't buying it. He flipped his script overnight. The next day, Butter dropped some names, pointing fingers at King Von and KI for some serious stuff, shedding light on some dark history. He didn't spill all the beans, though. Just enough to stir the pot. But here's the twist, everyone he talked about, they're already gone, pushing up daisies. It's like Butter's playing a slick game, knowing the law might cut him slack for snitching on the deceased. Seems like he's trying to play the system, talking just enough to cover his back without getting into real trouble. One day, he's acting mute, the next, he's dropping names, but only of those who ain't around anymore. It's a chess move, really, trying to keep the cash he got while dodging any more heat from the court. Dude's trying to clean his slate, talking about those who can't talk back. But people are keeping their eyes peeled, waiting to see if Butter will go on that stand again and spill more beans. There's chatter about what tricks the lawyers might pull too, maybe pushing Butter to snitch on current inmates. There's a whole soap opera going down in that court. They're dishing out gossip about Kenny Mack and THFT, their tangled mess causing a ruckus. And Tay? He spilled the beans about Duck's location, starting this whole mess because of some relationship drama. Seems like even emojis played a part in this drama, adding more layers to the chaos. While Butter's talking, it might not all be about Duck's case. His words might stir the pot for other legal battles too. Folks gotta watch their words, cause what they're saying now might bite them later in another trial.